Hey, so I'm back, and this is episode 2 of Kelly Jack's How to Play Simutrans. Some of the things that you can do is you can turn on and off the grids if you need to see that. That comes in handy to take to see what sort of sloping you're sometimes fighting. I have the trees on transparent. You can turn them on, and we'll turn the grid off. You can go through the layers and look at the various layers if you have tunnels and such so that you can do it. You can show station coverage. You can turn on and off the waiting bars and signs for the various cities and such. You can hide or show the buildings too. You also show and hide reservations, and that's something we're going to be looking at once we start putting in after the first line. So our first line, because it's short for Calico Western, and I'm going to rotate the map so that north is this way. This is the west. We're starting here at Brentbury. This mine supplies coal to these two by contract. It needs somebody to get them there. So we need to build a station. And sometimes a station can be very easy to build, sometimes they can be tough. Because this one's quick and easy and barely going any distance, we're going to back out. The first one we're going to build, we're just going to do the cheap sleeper rails. Yes, okay, good. And we're not building this as a huge thing here. There we go. Close out the landscape. Now I am going to do something. If you do a position your window for the toolbar and then use the button to close it, it will open back up in that spot. If you use the X to close it, it'll always open at the top until you move it to someplace. Then it'll open it wherever you did it at on the close by button. Sort of a nice thing so that you can have multiple things open when you're doing things. I tend to have my construction bars on the very top and then put the landscape just right below it. We're now going to build a bridge, and I chose the stone bridge. You have bridges available by your type. It's not a drop down window like you see in some of them. It's a little bit more simple of a game because it's all just right there. And then we're going to extend beyond. We're going to grab two different freight stations. The difference here is just color. You also have, I'm just pulling this down so I can read off with you, your railway control station. You have your small station buildings for passengers that vary up to there, and then you have the warehouse, which can be put in, which will hold more. So, those are things that we can deal with down the road. So we're just going to put in a basic station here. And I'm not making these big because we don't need them to be big. And then we'll service the other rail, other one, off of over here because it'll need more than one. And then I need to take and build a side spur. Because these are going to be able to get away with short trains where it's short distance for a much longer time than normal. We're going to unpause the game. That is one other difference. You can build in pause mode. So you do have to be careful. Make certain you're running if you're trying to be realistic. And then right here, we're going to pull a little it'll stretch out like that. And unlike the other games where you line it up on the side, here you take an endpoint and that becomes your cover it with the endpoint with your building for your depots, and that builds your depot. Click on the depot to start. Always go to locomotive first. It tries to separate the passenger cars from the cars. That's why the locos are in the middle. We're going to go with just a basic JV Sacker. I really could get away, I think, with 387, 373, but it's got a tender, so 383. You know what? Let's see what else we can get away with. 450, 588 per click, 480, way too much, 440, yeah. Right now the Sacker's our only real choice, cash-wise. For this kind of a run, we don't need a great deal of power. We could get away with this guy, because they're not going to get up, but Sacker, 55, you're not going to get up beyond 55 in that short of a run. Go to your cars, because this is cargo. Now you got to find your right cargo. So the ones that's offering us are automobile flat car, the paper car, the steel roll car, the waste car. Two different box cars, different sizes. You have the furniture car, which is bigger than the standard old box car, and then you've got the hopper car. That's what we need, is a hopper for coal. Doesn't have to configure, a hopper can be a hopper. Oops, I hit copy convoy. We didn't want to do that. Sell that guy. Okay, so we're going to... Oops, we forgot to put the train on. If you forget to, you can go through this, which is append, put behind, put in front, puts the engine at the front in case you forgot to put the engine on, or sell. I'm going back to append. We're going to build him out to 3 tile lengths so he can handle up to 3. And your picture version of it's down here. It doesn't show you the various brakes, but until you're into that one. And that's about 5 is about right. We're going to schedule this train to go from here to here. We need it to be on this first one a full load, 100%. Don't want it running less than full load. And we're going to promote that to a line and call this the super short coal. So a collier is a coal carrier, also a coal miner, so makes a lot of sense. Start that guy going. That will get our first train going. And then we can start thinking about what we're going to do to service the other place. Another thing that every business needs is workers. So 633 of them live in Malik, 412 live in Brentberry. So we are right beside Brentberry. And I am just going to do a little bit more terraforming here to build a little ramp, close this, put in a road, take a dirt road because I really don't need it to be a big fast road. Put the station so that it touches the bus station. And then we're going to build a bus station here, a bus station there. And as you can see, those orange squares around, you can see those orange squares give you the coverage. It's not as big as a lot of other games. And there we go. So that's our coverage. And I'm going to do one more out here. So next up, we need to get how we're going to do things. But we'll deal with this in a second. We're first just going to do a quick road off here to bring it over this way. Get it close to where our other depot is. So this depot, or barn, garage, we're going to grab a bus. We're just going to grab the Stoll, which is the cheapest, easiest bus to start. We're going to do one on a route like that, not set pickups, just let it pick up people as they're available and just keep running. We're going to call that I put the Cali in there so I know which company I'm looking at. And then we'll do another Stoll, and his line is going to go like this. And then instead of clicking each station back, you have the option to copy backwards. And that copies it backwards, so it now goes from the coal mine back to the bus, back to the town hall, and then resets back to the main stop all the way out. And that's going to be Brentbury, Cali, Main Street bus. And that should take and do it. We're going to let those roll and let this guy roll and see what we're doing cash-wise. We're making money. We'll come back and talk about how to view finances and some of the tricks within finances in a moment. I'm Kelly Jack. Have a better day than I'm having.